Alright, so I'm going to be talking about the ideal first property for your real estate investing journey. So what property is ideal for you to start off with that's going to put you in the best situation, to learn comfortably, not overwhelm yourself, but then not underwhelm yourself, for example. So first off, I'd recommend a residential building. The reason is residential, you can definitely get them, for a cheaper amount than commercial, due to the 20% down payment of residential compared to like the 30% down payment of 20% with the residential, 30% with the commercial. So you can definitely put less down on a residential property, which is ideal if you're just starting to invest. And you may ask, what type of residential property? So first off, I wouldn't go too big or too small. So we're trying to find that sweet spot right in the middle when it comes to your first property. So I wouldn't jump to like a 10 unit, or an 8 unit property, for example, because you might tend to overwhelm yourself a lot of times, the evaluation, the due diligence of the whole building, it's just not ideal for the first learning experience. You want to make sure you're comfortable with the building size of this one. You could do a 2-family, for example, but keep in mind that with a 2-family, you don't have that many units, it's 2-family, so there's 2 units, that when one is not occupied, you're losing 50% of your cash flow. So that's a huge chunk when it comes to, if you're, if you're paying, you have your mortgage payment, you're paying that, and the next thing you know, you have to come up the other half yourself because half of it's not occupied. So what I'd recommend for a first property is a 3 to 4 family. Maybe if you're really, feeling it, you could go to 5 to 6 family, but I would go 3 or 4 family. Even if you want to, if you don't have a home yet, I would recommend getting a 3 or 4 owner occupied one, which means you live in one of the units and you rent out the other 3, because you can comfortably manage that possibly by yourself. Because first of all, if you're going to like a 8 unit, you get the upper units, you want this professionally managed, because in owner managing a larger building like that's definitely going to serve to be a hassle. And if you're a first-time investor, you'll be surprised by how hard it actually is and how time-consuming it is. That's what I mean. You get called down at 1 o'clock, something's broke, you got to go down there, you lose sleep, next thing you know, everything in your day is backed up. So yeah, so I'd recommend 3 or 4 families. That's a sweet spot where you can still, you're not overwhelmed, but you're not underwhelmed. And even if one of them, let's say a 4-family, if one of your units is not occupied, you still have 75% of the cash flow coming in, which shouldn't, take you should prepare for that situation, right? But yeah, like I was saying, with a 2-family, if one is not occupied, you lose 50% of your cash flow. That's a huge chunk. You also don't want to overwhelm yourself with such a large building. But and that's when you use the 3 or 4 family to gain your footing, Then you start expanding the larger residential buildings. Eventually you'll get the commercial, you really just expand, you take it one step at a time, I would just, focus on 3 or 4 family, instead of just going and purchasing a 10-family when it's your first investment ever. You're not an educated investor, you're not prepared, you haven't even read anything about it, for example. You don't want to catch yourself off guard like that and not be prepared, because that's just a bad situation and it's not going to be enjoyable for you. So like I said, I'd recommend a 3 or 4 family residential property. That is definitely ideal for a first property. So thank you so much. Any feedback, good or bad, is greatly appreciated. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.